So how much can I get for a trade? Well, I don't think bananas are worth what you think they're worth. If shopping for a new car drives you bananas, head to Community Auto Group in Mason City. We have the best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. And you know with Community, you're getting a straightforward deal from a straightforward dealer. I'd like to buy this car. No? Seriously? Next time I'll skip the monkey business and go to Community Auto Group.
Call the meeting of the Board of Supervisors to order. Before us we have today's agenda, the minutes of the special session of the 25th and the regular session of the 26th.
At this time, I'll make a motion to approve this morning's agenda and the minutes from the 25th and the 26th.
Okay, and I'll second that.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve the agenda for today and the minutes of the 25th and 26th. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Old business.
I have none.
New business, Mary.
Not a whole lot different to report on. The guys, of course, are out plowing snow, and the maintainers are out. That's about it. The wind's supposed to pick up, so that can make it a little bit more difficult, of course.
What time do they go out in the morning on a day like today?
But 5.
Aye.
Normal time is 6, but they'll start
Right.
at 5 if the roads need to be cleared.
With the moisture in that snow, it shouldn't be that much more.
Pardon me?
I said with the moisture they have in that snow, you know, a little less prone to it.
Yeah, it still does tend to blow, but yeah, hopefully not this time.
Gentlemen, questions for Mary?
I have none.
I won't be here next week, so just to let you know.
Okay, thank you very
All
much.
right, thanks.
With no other information from the engineer, we'll move down to auditor's business. Claims.
I have the claims here for your consideration. Thank you.
At this time, I so make a motion to accept the claims and authorize the chair's signature on them this morning.
Second.
You see fit.
Okay, motion made and seconded to approve the claims and authorize the chair's signature where appropriate. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Payroll.
We have no payroll issues and no drainage issues.
Okay. We do see we have a Class C beer permit for Clear Lake Boats.
Yes, we do. That's right here for your consideration.
How did you research that?
No, I haven't. I haven't had a chance to research it, so I'm going over it quick now. I would imagine they're probably not going to put boats in the water real quick.
Probably not.
But it looks like everything's in order, so at this time, I'll make a motion to approve the beer permit for Clear Lake Boats and have the gentleman sign where appropriate.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve the beer permit for Clear Lake Boats and authorize the chair's signature. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we'll skip item 5 and item C, moving down to item D, manure management plans. I'll again return to you for guidance.
Well, I can see why you would. I know a lot of people that are full of manure.
Okay,
I thought there might have been a couple more, because I did see a couple yesterday.
Yes, I.
Okay, but we have 2 of them this morning. They're renewals. One of them is Christensen Farm Site F117, and the other one is Christensen Farms Site F088. Everything looks to be in order, and I'd make a motion that we put a copy on file and send a copy to the dinner.
Okay, and I'll second that.
okay, motion made and seconded to forward to the Department of Natural Resources manure management plans as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Good. Item E, agreements and contracts.
Admin.
F, appointments. I did see yesterday we had a couple of slots open for.
We have about three of them.
trustees.
Oh, yeah.
Three of
Trust-
them. We got some ideas into the other day.
Okay.
I wanted to wait till after the meeting yesterday to
Okay,
see if anybody come up with some ideas.
very good. Item G, correspondence and communication. I would take a motion to recess until 10:15 for the public hearing on the budget.
Also moved.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded to recess till 10:15. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll reconvene the meeting of the Board of Supervisors, 10:15. Time for our presentation of the 2013-14 fiscal budget. Heather, why don't you go ahead and lead off?
Okay. Can you see that all right? You want me to?
Becky.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Let's see if it works here.
You betcha.
Maybe not.
Don't get too close.
Okay, I had it all set, ready to go.
Give it another throw it again.
Calm down. There you go.
Can't
Somebody
throw it
messed
far
with
with
my
that.
laptop.
I know, that's the problem.
It escaped and
I
shit
did.
everything up.
I did. It's not working at all. Well, maybe we don't get a presentation.
All we want is a presentation.
Oh.
Well, the money's worth, right?
It's like locked up.
The colors are pretty.
Just shut it off and turn it back on, Heather.
I think.
It's gonna take a minute.
It's got it.
I know, well, somebody's got to.
Hold the power button down.
Well, I'm doing a control delete. Will you do that?
I don't,
There's a reset.
this happened to me once before and I had to turn the power way down.
I think they're being 19.
You mean just push the,
There's the
Power
reset on
pole.
the
Hold it down till it shuts off.
Well, you.
I pulled it 6 seconds, I believe.
Sorry, technical difficulties.
That was it, yeah.
We're pretty patient.
Sat too long.
It has been sitting there.
Honestly, that happened.
I don't think
to me.
anybody did touch it.
It was sad
It's
and
been there since
I
9.
it froze up.
It must have froze.
Yes.
I suppose the IT department wants a bigger budget, so we can more.
Reset the computer.
Johnson.
I mean, good with that. That was good.
Do you know how to set up so it projects onto you?
No.
It's in a couple of days.
Oh, there you go.
I shouldn't.
Thank you.
This gets a longer meeting than normal.
You see it's working, right?
Yeah, you're about to set your record.
There we go. Now we're in business. Okay.
All right,
Now
take it
let's
away.
look at 2014 budget. This is a history of the levies, the valuation, and the utility property tax dollars. The top section here is our countywide valuation. You can see the proposed next year and then the last 7 years. The middle section is the rural valuation, and the bottom is just a breakdown of the countywide. So you can see next year we're proposing for a countywide levy $6.23.5 roughly on the value. And this is just a breakdown of that $6.23. You can see our general is at $3.50, our supplemental $1.43, mental health about 90 cents, and debt service of 40 cents. The rural levy is also staying the same. You can see it's stayed the same. Now this would be the 5th year in a row. Our expenditures by department has our current year and our next year proposed. You can see current year, I apologize, these numbers are hard to read. Current year expenditures are 34.9 million, and next year we're proposing 34.8 million, a drop of about $80,000. And there's a couple of large changes you can see by department. One of the big ones here is special projects, 568,000 decrease. And there's a change of the way we have to account for a program. Empowerment is a program that our county has that federal and state dollars come in and we spend them on the empowerment program. We still have that, but according to the state, we now have to carry it within an agency fund, so it's no longer budgeted. So that's the big change. In the current year, we have empowerment in here, and for fiscal year 14, we're taking empowerment out. This is just a pie chart of the expenditures, and is there something on here? You can see public safety, 28%. That's our largest share. And the next one then would be roads and transportation at 20%. And revenues, our biggest revenue generator is our property taxes, 54%. And after that is intergovernmental of 29%. Intergovernmental revenue is any revenue we bring in from another government, whether it's federal, state, or even a local government. We do have a debt service levy. It's for the law enforcement center. If you recall, it's 13.5 million, and the current levy that we're paying is 41, almost 42 cents, and it will next year drop to just over 40 cents. Here's a history of the fund balances of the county. Fiscal year 12 is our most recent audited financial report, so these are the fund balances we're showing. And you can see fiscal year 11 we had 14.3 million. Fiscal year 12 we dropped down to 12.4 overall. And this might be easier for some to look at. It's just a graph of our fund balances. One thing that might jump out to people is our capital projects. You can see this was in fiscal year 7. We had a huge balance in our capital projects, and then the next year we spent it way down. That's when we were building the law enforcement center. We really do not have a lot of capital projects in the budget for next year. The current year, secondary roads is 2.1 million, and we have some other minor projects within our other departments of about 20,000. Next year, the secondary roads is requesting 1.165 million, so almost $1 million drop. And then the other departments, 20,000 as well. Tax rates for fiscal year 6 through fiscal year 13. We're comparing our tax rates to the 5 counties below in population and the 5 counties above us in population. The blue is the county-wide tax rate, which everybody in the county pays, and the yellow is the rural rate. And you can see it's been pretty steady. It's going down just a touch there. The rural rate went down just a touch for a couple of years. If you live in the city of Mason City, this is where your tax dollar would go for the current year. 39% of your dollar would go to the school, 40% to the city, 18% to the county, and then there's some other like Ag Extension, the assessor, and NIAC. And if you were to live in the rural area, we picked Lincoln Township here. This is where your dollar would go. The school would take 54%, the county takes 40%, and the other 6% goes to smaller jurisdictions.
Okay, thank you. Does everyone who wants a copy of the annual budget have a chance to get one? We've got extra copies of some here, whatever.
Anybody except the sheriff.
Make sure the sheriff gets one. He's probably the biggest instigator.
Okay, at this time, we'll open the public hearing on the budget for 2013-14. Comment from the public.
I got a couple questions, if I may. The secondary roads, is that uncommon to have that big a drop in funding?
Capital
have-
projects.
You have different things that you need to look at, because we go through, well, we have cycles where we crush rock, where you spend a large lump sum of money crushing rock, therefore you may not be able to do as much construction. I've doubled the equipment cost in this budget opposed to what it was last budget, so that's $300,000 that we're spending towards equipment. So there's other things that you need to look at. Plus, we have other sources of funding, like our farm to market. We're spending $2.3 million out of our farm to market funds for construction. So I kind of felt that if we can't totally neglect our rock or our equipment or other things. So I'm working on trying to purchase 3 new tandem trucks, but we still have other construction funds that we're using, so it's not like we're not doing any construction.
So is the farm to market funding going to be there this next year? I mean, as well as it has been in the past?
Well, they've put restrictions on it in the past, just because that's a fund the DOT monitors and oversees, and there's, according to law, they allow you to borrow ahead 5 years. And so we get approximately $850,000 a year to that fund. So we can borrow that times 5 ahead. But if you do that, then that limits your borrowing power down the road. And right now, like I said, we're going to be spending $2.3 million out of that fund. So it may not be there for us to spend the following year because we're spending it this year. Does that make sense?
Okay?
And the second question that I have, if I may?
Sure.
Okay. So on the pending compensation board question that I'm assuming was tabled from the earlier meeting, is that factored into here then too, Heather?
Yes. Yes.
So that's factored in at an increase of
2.5%, I think, was the.
2.25.
2.25.
Yes, the comp board recommendations are in the proposed budget.
so, and this is my old standing question, I guess, but how can, I know you have to be able to budget it when, but how can you budget it in when it hasn't actually been voted on or discussed at previous meetings?
The 2.25% is figured into the budget. It's up to the Board of Supervisors to either approve or not approve that line item. If we don't approve it, then we simply would go ahead and have that additional money carried over to the next fiscal year, and it would go back into the general fund.
I just, from the standpoint of following the local paper, all the other counties around Cerro County had voted on or discussed prior to budget time, and I was just, from having been here from the last few years, why the board always waits till budget.
Some counties vote on it separately and earlier. Some counties vote on it with their budget on budget day. It just varies from county to county.
So I was wondering why it's always the 11th hour as far as voting on it, so.
I didn't think it was the 11th hour. I think the compensation board met back in December. Yeah. So I think it was pretty well documented as to what the proposed increases were.
Were proposed, right?
Right.
And my question was why 3 months later or 2 months later, whatever, it's just being discussed today rather than a January or a February board meeting, so.
Part of the reason for that is we like to see what the budget's doing. If there wasn't any money left over, we probably wouldn't take much away. If we could work it into the budget decently, then we know we can do it.
Understandable, but I just thought maybe a few weeks earlier for discussion would have been better than today. Thanks for the time.
Other comments from the public? I hear no other comment. Do we have a motion to close the public portion of the
So
hearing?
moved.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded to close the public portion of our hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Resolution to approve the budget for the upcoming year, which would be Resolution 2013, number 21.
At this time, I would move in favor of resolution number 21 to approve the coming budget of this coming fiscal year starting July 1st.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion made and seconded to approve Resolution 2013, number 21. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next is the Compensation Board recommendations as presented for the year 2013-14. What are your wishes?
Yeah, I was going through this again the other day, and I would like to thank the compensation board for meeting, and I think they use pretty much realistic figures. I know our people appreciate getting the money, as well as the elected officials. And at this time, I'll make a motion to approve the compensation board recommendations.
Okay. And also second that.
Okay, motion made and seconded to approve the Compensation Board recommendations as presented. Discussion? I hear none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next item is adjournment.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone.